precision, power, and the refusal of bait. Have you noticed how the moment you hold a standard, someone suddenly jokes, checks in, or asks a question that isn't really a question? That is bait. Bait is a comment with a hook. It sounds casual, it sounds harmless, but it is designed to pull you into explaining yourself, softening your position, or reassuring someone who just crossed a line. Ask yourself this: did the comment seek clarity, or did it seek a reaction? An example looks like this. Someone says, "I was just joking, don't be so sensitive," after making you uncomfortable. Or, "I only asked because I care," while questioning your judgment. Or, "I didn't mean it like that," after making sure you heard it. Why does your body tense when you hear it? Why do you suddenly feel the urge to clarify your intention? Because the goal is not understanding. The goal is to see whether your emotions can be used to move you. What happens when you rush to explain? The hook sets. What happens when you rush to reassure? The frame shifts. What happens when you rush to smooth things over? Authority leaks. Now ask the deeper question. Why were you trained to respond at all? You are learning something most people never master. Not how to speak louder, not how to dominate a room, how to stay steady while someone tries to redirect you. That is real power. Why does bait almost never sound aggressive? Because aggression is easy to refuse. Charm, humor, and concern are harder. If bait were obvious, it would fail. So what do you do instead of reacting? You pause. You observe. You ask yourself one quiet question. Is this asking for clarity or asking for control? The good girl reflex is to prove you are kind, to clarify your intention, to make sure everyone feels okay. But ask yourself this: has explaining ever made people respect you more? Or has it taught them they can keep pulling? Goodness without clarity is exploitable. Clarity without cruelty is formidable. You are not meant to respond to every stimulus. You are meant to choose your responses with intention. That choice is the difference between a woman who gets managed and a woman who sets terms. When you refuse bait, two things happen. First, the other person realizes you are not emotionally steerable. Why does that unsettle them? Because they were counting on your need to be understood, your need to be liked, your need to be seen as agreeable. What happens when that need is absent? Their leverage disappears. Second, future interactions simplify. Why do things suddenly feel cleaner? Because drama requires participation. Tone replaces tension. Rules replace negotiation. Efficiency replaces performance. This is not coldness, this is order. Why do people mistake restraint for weakness? Because they confuse noise with force. But think about this. Which feels heavier in the room, shouting or silence? Which changes behavior faster, outrage or calm certainty? Silence, when chosen, carries weight. Stillness, when intentional, commands. So, what does wisdom look like in practice? It looks like letting people reveal themselves first. Why rush to correct someone who is exposing their own pattern? Those who rush to justify often want control. Those who rush to charm often want access. Those who rush to minimize often want escape from accountability. You do not chase clarity for them. You hold clarity for yourself. Most people are governed by their nervous systems. They react before they decide. They explain before they assess. They apologize before they ask a critical question. Is an apology actually required here? You are reversing that order. You feel first. You do not act from the feeling. You think next. You do not spiral. You act last. Once. Why is acting once so powerful? Because repetition invites negotiation. That sequence is discipline. Discipline is power that does not announce itself. When someone tries to provoke you and fails, what happens next? They recalibrate. They either respect you or retreat. And ask yourself this: which outcome harms you? Respect creates clean collaboration. Retreat removes friction. Do you really need universal approval, or do you need predictable behavior? Predictability is the currency of safety, and safety is what the good girl was trying to buy with compliance. Notice what happens when you speak plainly. Why do systems suddenly adjust? Why do arguments stop? Because you are no longer arguing. You are stating standards. Standards do not require consensus. They require enforcement. And enforcement does not require anger. It requires consistency. Ask yourself this the next time guilt shows up. Is this guilt about wrongdoing or about breaking an old role? That guilt is not morality. It is social residue. Training that taught you harmony mattered more than truth. Are you ready to release that training? Harmony without order is fragile. Order creates a deeper peace that does not require your self-erasure. You are allowed to be liked, but ask yourself, who taught you that being liked was the price of leadership? Warmth is optional. Accessibility is strategic. You decide when doors open. You decide when they close. You do not owe perpetual openness to anyone who benefits from your confusion. Notice how quickly things change once people realize you are serious. Not loud, not volatile, serious. Why do serious women get called intimidating? Because decisiveness exposes dependency. When you speak once and stop, people learn to listen. When you refuse to over-explain, people learn to respect your time. When you decline to justify boundaries, people learn those boundaries exist without their approval. This is not arrogance. This is self-governance. Power is not taken in moments of rage. It is established in moments of restraint. Anyone can explode, but ask yourself, who actually controls the room afterward? You are becoming a woman whose presence alters behavior. Not because you intimidate, because you are legible. People know where you stand. They know what you tolerate. They know what happens when standards are crossed. So the next time you feel tempted to soften what does not need softening, ask one final question. Who benefits if I blur this line? Precision is kindness to your future self. Ambiguity is a gift to those who want to test you. You are not here to be endlessly accommodating. You are here to be effective. Effectiveness does not require cruelty. It requires resolve. Let them misread your calm if they want to. They will correct themselves, because the moment someone realizes you are not emotionally steerable, the game ends. What remains is structure, and structure always favors women who think long-term. Continue. Say less. Mean more. Act once. That is how power settles into a woman who no longer needs to prove it. Follow for more, and read my books. Link in bio.